Welcome to the Raynin Threes podcast with Alan Ray and Mike O'Connell.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hello and welcome to the 6th edition of Raynin Threes. I am your host, Mike O'Connell, here with the former John Wooden AP All-American, Alan Ray. Hey, Ray, how we doing tonight, man?
Was good, OC. Chilling. Nick at night behind the scenes.
Yes, sir.
How was your weekend today?
Hey,
This weekend.
it was great, man. I mean, it was a lot of fun getting to watch Mark Armstrong, our guy, tear it up in the FIBA U19 tournament. Just got past the group stage now, man. So they're 3-0. That was great. Mark had some great performances, and he was the leading scorer. Team USA set a record for the most points they scored in a FIBA U19 game, which is pretty awesome for Mark to be a part of. And obviously Cam Whitmore was drafted on Thursday night. So it's definitely an action-packed weekend when it comes to Villanova hoops, believe it or not, in the middle of the summer at this point. So lots to get to, Ray?
Some Donte DiVincenzo rumors floating around too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. My son had a AAU tournament this weekend. Just was out there with him. They lost. They finished like 1-2. The guys, they play good first half. Second half, they get too relaxed. So I might have to step in.
I
don't want to, but because that's like another time commitment, man. As soon as I do that, but it's for the kids.
Yeah, for the kids.
Then got some real estate work done. I've been on hold for like 2 weeks from the city. Just finally passed inspections from the arborist, and what they do is they handle like all the trees and stuff around there. So I'm all set with that. Should be getting back to action this week on that. Ready to talk some basketball.
Yeah, man. Wow. It sounds like you got a lot on your plate, but you're doing a heck of a job of making sure everything's handled as you always do, my friend. So good stuff. And that's great to hear you're finally making some progress when it comes to the real estate game. Because, I don't know much about it, but I do know it requires a lot of patience.
Oh, it sure does. Sure does.
Oh, man. But hey. Let's get down to it, Ray. We'll actually, I'll leave this up to you. Do you want to start with Cam or Mark?
Man, let's just start with Cam. That's like one of the biggest news. Yeah.
Yeah. The elephant in the room, right?
For sure. Big slide, projected to be top 5, top 10, slid all the way down to number 20. Definitely wasn't expecting that. Before coming into the draft night, the night before he slid down to 9, and then waking up the next day, I saw him at 7. I saw him at 7, but so I was thinking he's definitely gonna be top 10, like no questions about it. He's there all year, and then to see him go number 20, it kind of sucked, but I knew it was real bad for him, just seeing his face sitting in the green room at the number 20 pick. Most of all the other guys in the green room are gone. You're sitting around, empty chairs. Like, just think about that scenario and how that looked and how would you feel. But at the end of the day, he got drafted, so it's time to show and prove. There was some questions about, his interviews, his workouts, and I don't know. I don't think workouts and interviews will have you slide all the way to 20.
Right.
There was also some medical concerns that came out too. I don't want to speculate. I don't know exactly what it was, but I believe that it was the medical reasons that he dropped. I can't see interviews and like bad workouts having you slide all the way to 20 when you was top 5 all year. How you feel, Mike?
No, you're absolutely right, and I think there's a lot of different things that we've heard over the course of the last few days, especially on draft night, we just saw him continue to slide and slide and slide. We saw the Magic even pass up on him twice, which was hard to believe. And I feel like that once that happened, because the Magic had they had 2 lottery picks, so they had their last one was number 11, and I think that scared everybody else that was behind them, saying like, "Wow, Orlando must know something. Well, I'm staying away from this kid." Grady Dick went. Jordan Hawkins went. I did not expect those 2 to go in front of Cam, just based on pure potential and ceiling that Whitmore has. I mean, he's an athletic stud, which is another reason why you're confused why his workouts weren't like unbelievable in a lot of ways. Like I thought.
I mean, I don't know what they was looking for. I don't know what exactly they was looking for.
Right. And Woj, Adrian Wojciechowski from ESPN, NBA Insider, was saying over and over again, basically throughout the coverage of the draft, and then even afterwards, saying a lot of the NBA GMs were saying that not only his workouts, but especially his interviews were comatose.
Yeah,
basically. So he was very, lacking enthusiasm, lacking energy, interest. And the thing is, you can't be too hard on a guy, because Cam is Cam, right? That's just kind of who he is as a person. And no knock on him. There's plenty of great teammates, great players, even great leaders that maybe aren't as fiery and as intense 100% of the time. There's guys that are a little bit more laid back, a little bit more casual with things. Take like a guy like a Kawhi Leonard. You know what I mean? Like some of these guys who are very stoic. I knew you're gonna do the impersonation to laugh at some point when I made that comp, but not bad. We'll take it. But what I'm saying is, though, like I just think it was a little rough to call him comatose. Like that's like an insult.
It is.
And I don't know. I've seen Cam on the sideline deal with coaches and everything. Is he like he's popping up, jumping up and down, getting clapping everything, getting everybody excited? No, but he's also, I wouldn't go as far to say that he was like a bad teammate or negative to the point where it would affect his draft stock and general managers, front offices' ability to trust him.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think he kind of got the short end of the stick here. Another few things that we discussed, Ray, and that I think was just swirling around Twitter, social media, NBA draft coverage about why Cam slid from possibly being a top 5 pick, going to Detroit at 5, and then sliding down all the way down to 20 with Houston, is that, hey, a lot of guys were saying the difference between a Jay Wright scouting report from his guys that played in the past couple of decades at Villanova, it was a difference from what they got in terms of scouting report from Coach Neptune and his staff versus what they got from Coach Wright, talking about guys like Sadiq Bey, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, and then earlier, obviously, with Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, Donte DiVincenzo, Amari Spellman, Eric Paschall, you name it. And it's just, it was different. And I guess that makes sense in a way, because Coach Neptune is we talk about this all the time, right? He's still very new to this, right? Being a head coach. He had 1 year at Fordham, 1 year at Villanova, and that was his first NBA guy that he ever drafted. That was under his regime, you could say. And maybe he didn't do the best job or say the right things to get Cam to where he needed to be in the eyes of the GMs and front offices of the NBA teams that were drafting in the lottery. So could you give some credence to that? Possibly. But I like what you said earlier, Ray. I just don't know if that warrants a 15 spot slide.
Yeah.
The way that it happened. I just thought it was like, okay, once it got past 9, it was like, all right, somebody's just going to be like, all right, this kid is clearly the best available. And freaking Jay Billis had him as the best available player since the 3rd
for like
pick.
a half an hour.
Literally, you're just sitting there. I don't know if that made it worse in a way, because you just saw his name Cam Whitmore, Villanova,
No,
for
everything. Yeah,
that long.
they kept showing the camera on him and everything.
Oh,
And then Jay Bill, like you said, Jay Billis, first best available. Cam Whitmore. It was up there for like a half an hour.
no, it was brutal. It was just agonizing to watch. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, he got drafted. He's gonna have, I think, a very successful career in the NBA. He has all the tools. Is he a little more laid back, chill, reserved type of guy? Yes, but is that going to hurt him moving forward in the
Yeah.
league? No, I don't think it's going to be
Yeah.
perfectly frank with you. And hey, I honestly think all these teams passing on him, he's taking notes, right? He's taking names, making
He
sure
should
that
be. He
that
should
that
be.
he knows who exactly it was that passed on him, not once, not twice, um, several times over the course of the first 19 picks. And it's like, I think it's just adding fuel to the fire. I think he's a real competitor. You saw his evolution from
Yeah.
when he got back from his injury,
Hmm.
right, to the last, I guess you could say, 6 or 7 games of the season. Really, when J-Mo got back, like that's when everything kind of started to kick into gear. But for Cam especially, he was a major contributor. He had some incredible, incredible highlight reel type of plays that you could put on. It would be impressive at any level, let
Yeah.
alone legit Big East play at that point. So, Cam, we're not worried about you. It was definitely unfortunate to watch what happened. It was like you really felt for the guy. He's lost out on some money. You could say all these different things, but I mean, I don't know, Ray. It's. I think it was an unfortunate situation. In the end, now it's all a-okay. He's with Houston. He's going to play really well there, and I think he's a bright future ahead.
Yeah. Like you said, he just got to use this as motivation for sure. That's what
Mhm.
I would do. And this scouting report that, they're talking about coming from Villanova, I think it's more just of, like coaches, teams, like they reach out to college coaches and they want to find out about a certain player. And the coaches are not going to sit there and lie. They're going to tell these guys exactly what type of person, what type of player they're getting because it's an investment. And, you know, Villanova doesn't want to lose any credibility by, lying about their players or whatever. But I don't know what was said, but back to your point, whatever was said, if it was something said that they saying is different from any other player that they might have found negative about Cam, just use it as motivation. Going forward, just move it, use it as motivation. With the Houston Rockets, got opportunity. They are rebuilding.
Mhm.
So there's going to be opportunity there. Got a lot of young guys there, so it's not like you're going to be fighting with veterans over there. So if he could go in there with a clear mind, put all this stuff behind him, be healthy, he's got a shot to be in there for a long time.
Absolutely, right. Well said, my friend. And it's funny because I was watching the draft with my dad on Thursday night, and who had the 21st pick, Ray? Remember, it was Brooklyn,
Yeah, the
right
Nets.
behind Houston. And I was like, all right, if he falls one more, he'll be playing with Mikal. That ain't so bad. So,
That's true.
but didn't happen. Would have been cool, but it is definitely a really prime opportunity for Cam
Yeah.
because Houston is, I would say, really looking for a couple guys to build around, and Cam is certainly in position to prove himself to be that piece
Yep.
for the franchise moving forward. So excited for him. That's the bottom line. But of course, Ray, we talked about this all the time leading up to the draft about how a lot of the, how do you say, I guess, older Villanova fans were talking about how he should have stayed another year.
Hmm.
He needed to polish his game more, get some more experience because he didn't play the full season. And now, obviously, hindsight is 2020. But do you think he could have stayed? He should have stayed, whatever you want to say,
Yeah.
if he knew he was going at 20 versus being a lottery pick.
Mm. Yeah. Now, if I don't know, even 20 still kind of get you thinking like
Hmm.
I should just go. 20 is not a bad spot. Even if, you know what, I would say first round. If you guarantee a first round pick, go. Like guarantee first round pick, you might as well go. And you mentioned about people saying he should have stayed. For sure, I agree. He should have stayed another year. He definitely could have honed his skills, got more experience, and blah blah blah, all this other stuff. But you gotta look at it. He was projected to be a top 10 pick all year. Like
Mhm.
you just can't pass that up. Like you can't say no to that. I don't know if you saw the Felipe Lopez 30 for 30.
I did not know.
All right. So long story short, out of high school, in high school, Felipe Lopez was like he was like on LeBron status. He was that dude. He's from New York. And he had the chance to go to the league out of high school and I mean make like multi-million dollars right off the bat.
Right.
And
Yep.
you know,
Now I'm
him,
remembering.
yeah, his family didn't want him to go, and he
Right.
ended up going to St. John's.
Mm.
Didn't really have a great career at St. John's. Still ended up getting drafted and played in the league for maybe 3 or 4 years, but then ended up getting hurt, and his
Yeah, he
career
got
was
hurt.
over. Yeah.
Exactly right. Yep.
So I mean, he made the league, took the long route, but if he would have just went right out of high school with all that buzz, I mean, he would have been multi. He would have made way more money.
Mhm.
And who knows, he could have had a longer career.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all know, college will take some years off your career. And
Yeah,
probably
especially.
probably happened at St. John's. Like just all that damn practice and running and all that stuff. But you never know. But that's why guys, even if you think they're not ready, that's why they leave.
And that's there was no NIL money back then either, Ray. So he
Nope.
wasn't making anything at St. John's. But
Nah, that's different. Now NIL's in the picture now. So guys who's not going to be able to go to the league can stay here and get paid in college. So,
well, yeah, and that almost dilutes the second round of the NBA draft a little bit because a lot of the guys that maybe could have gone second round and were like, hey, I'm not going in the first round, kind of like what you brought up earlier. We're like, hey, why not play another year of college, earn some money, earn some decent money, like legitimate six-figure type of money, and play with my guys kind of thing. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's an interesting, I guess, dilemma now that we have NIL, things like that involved, transfer portal, completely just changes the mindset of these young kids now.
Yeah, for sure. And then you seeing guys like Sonogo and Tashibwe
Yeah,
not getting drafted.
Yep.
It's like, let me stay in school a little bit more, a little bit longer. That was crazy not to see them get drafted. As good as they were, especially Sonogo, we seen how good Sonogo was this
Oh,
year.
man.
And for him not to get drafted, it just shows you NBA is a business, ain't nothing guaranteed. Like, stop getting mad at these kids for trying to get their money now.
I mean, he was the most outstanding player in the Final Four, Ray.
Exactly.
It's crazy. So, yes, but I did want to bring this up to you because that was the buzz on Twitter a little bit after Cam, unfortunately, did slide from possibly top 10, all the way down to 20, saying, okay, imagine this. Say Whitmore stays for another year, tries to get guaranteed top 5 pick vibes if he, crushes it, dominates the Big East, and, wins some more hardware. Say Cam stays, right? Villanova lands Hunter Dickinson along with TJ Bamba. So we don't get Hakeem Hart, we don't get Tyler Burton, we don't get Lance Ware, but we bring back everybody aside from Daniels and Slater, and we add Bamba and Hunter Dickinson. Are you taking that team, or are you more comfortable with the current situation with this team adding Tyler Burton, Hakeem Hart, and Lance Ware along with TJ Bamba after Whitmore gets drafted?
I'm taking Hunter Dickinson, Cam Whitmore, Justin Moore, Mark Armstrong, Jordan Longino,
Okay.
Eric Dixon. I'm taking those guys for sure. I like that squad. I'm thinking Final Four, but we can't get in foul trouble. Can't get in foul trouble. if we could play the games without getting foul trouble, we good with that squad. But yeah, I definitely if our Cam would have stayed and then we landed Hunter Dickinson, like that's with Justin Moore and Eric. Nah, that's Final Four.
Okay.
Bamba, that's Final Four for sure.
Hey, all right.
For
I
sure.
respect that. I respect it because it is certainly, you could certainly say Dickinson and Whitmore, two of the, you could say, most talented players in the entire country. Dickinson was obviously number one transfer. Whitmore was touted as a lottery pick. It didn't work out that way, but he certainly has the talent and the capability, the potential to be that type of player in the league. So I'm honestly a little bit surprised that you were immediately saying I want that team, because I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. Not only because I want to debate you a little bit, but because I actually really do believe this, and I think this might be a little bit of my, I guess you'd say, Villanova J. Wright
Bias.
attitude, just being there for the championship in 18. After I got into the school in 16, I saw them win it. Like, I just think this Jay Wright, watching you guys play when I was a kid with you,
How
Kyle,
old was you when we
and
played?
so I was born in 97. So when you guys
Oh
were
my
playing,
gosh.
I remember my first memory of the team was was unfortunately the phantom travel call against Carolina. That was my first, because I remember my dad being so upset. So it was
Yeah.
almost like a traumatic moment of my childhood. But that got me into it for the next season, right?
Yeah. Bro,
And
I
you
was
guys,
born in
incredible.
84.
Oh, right before. Do you remember the '85 team?
No. Yeah, when I
Obviously,
got to Villanova for sure, because that
yeah.
was that was the only team who's done it, who did it before
Mhm.
I got there. So it was 1985 everything.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But no, I just think I'm a little bit, I guess, brainwashed in the, like, I'm just had this ingrainment in my mind of the Villanova way. I
Mhm.
guess like a similar vibe to like the New England Patriots with Bill Belichick, Robert Kraft, Tom Brady, those guys with the Patriot way. And I feel like it was just a similar mindset in my eyes, that were like, oh, this guy doesn't fit the mold of what we're trying to do here. He's not a Villanova guy. He's not a Patriot guy. We don't need him. We don't care how great he is on the court. We care more about how he is off the court, how he is as a teammate, how he is as a son, a brother,
Mhm.
a nephew, a student, that kind of thing. Is he a family oriented type of person that really cares about other people? Is he selfless? And does he care about the team more than himself? Right. So that is just coming to mind when I think of who I want Villanova to get, whether it be recruiting, whether it be in the transfer portal, and whether it be just developing guys that they get into, turning boys into men, right? Over the course of whether it be just 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, or 4 years plus, like we've
Yeah.
seen with guys like Colin or Jermaine that had that COVID year of eligibility, so on and so forth. But I just think, A-Ray, that hearing all these great things about how Tyler Burton, Hakeem Hart, Lance Ware, TJ Bamba, all these kids are such incredible people, teammates, leaders of men, and are just really fit that Villanova mold. I mean, I'm hearing this from Coach Wright.
Mhm.
He's been telling people this. He's like, we love these guys. These are our type of guys. This is exactly who we want, exactly who we need for success in, unfortunately, the short term, because they're here for 1 year. That's it, right? Right.
Yeah.
I think maybe Bamba has one more year of eligibility, or Hart, but they want to go pro after this, right? So
Yeah.
that's the deal. But Allen, man, I really think that's the difference between Villanova having real success throughout the season, developing together, growing that chemistry, and really winning as a team rather than winning just on pure talent. And I
Yeah.
think you're absolutely right. The ceiling of the Dickinson, Whitmore, Bamba, along with Dixon, Moore, Armstrong, Longino, Housen, those guys with that hypothetical team, the potential and the ceiling of just based on pure raw talent is higher.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that say at the end of the season they're in a battle, say in the Sweet 16, something like that, and it's like comes down and they're really going through some adversity. They're down in the late minutes. Dickinson and Whitmore. It's just a lot of different, I guess, clashing personalities, maybe that I think guys like Burton, Hakeem Hart, Lance Ware, that mindset of a team, I think would thrive in those type of situations. Whereas Dickinson, Whitmore, that team maybe wouldn't at nearly as much as the team we have going into next season currently.
I respect it.
Okay.
I definitely do. I gave. I just feel like that's that's like a super team. That's like a college
I hear you.
super team. So you kind of get excited about hearing things like that. I mean, so I definitely would feel that team would definitely go to the Final Four. But I like our team we got now for sure. We
Oh,
definitely
I know
made
you do. I
yeah,
know you do.
we definitely did good this year in the off season. So I'm happy about our team. But let's be real. It's gonna be a lot of uneasiness that first game. 'Cause it is. It's gonna be so much uneasiness. Like everybody's gonna be happy, but like it's gonna be kind of like a nervous energy there
Just
too as
a
well.
pit in your stomach, right?
Yeah, because especially if the game is close,
I mean, it's against
and
American, man, so we're
yeah,
gonna be favored, but we gotta
exactly.
come out.
Like let the first 5 minutes be kind of close. It's gonna be
Yeah, they start hitting threes on us and we can't
yeah.
hit anything. It's like, oh,
Forget about it. Twitter gonna be on fire. But yeah, I just can't wait for that first game. Get that first game out the way. Like we gotta get that first game of the season out the way. And then I think everybody will kind of be a little bit more at ease. You
yeah,
know, it's still tension now because everybody wants to we did so good in the off season right now. It's like now we gotta wait.
mhm,
Everybody really wants to me, I'm personally wish that we could just jump into the season like next month, but we got a long wait.
we do. So this is actually something I was thinking about earlier, Ray, is I don't know if you guys did this way back in '06, but recently, I guess from I would say 2016, maybe even before that, I think even in the 2010s up until like COVID,
Mhm.
Villanova always had like a closed doors scrimmage against
Mhm.
another legitimate program. I mean, am I crazy when I say that? That
No,
that
no,
was an
no.
annual thing?
Yeah, we used to do that too.
Yeah.
We used to like have closed door scrimmages against certain teams. I remember we used to play George Washington a lot.
Okay.
We scrimmaged them a lot. We would go down there and scrimmage them in DC. They was a real tough team. I think that's why
Yeah.
coach like scrimmaging them a lot. Um yeah, but that's definitely a thing.
Okay.
Closed scrimmages is definitely a thing. I've been hearing, or well, it's been said that they've had closed scrimmages with like Duke.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it would if they had like North Carolina and stuff like that, but stuff like that is good, especially in a closed environment where it's just the coach and players, and
Mhm.
you can really like stop the game and teach and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, A-Ray, like you said, like Duke, I heard Duke. I've heard Carolina before. I've heard Louisville. I've
Hmm.
heard Virginia. Like these are like legit programs that
Yeah.
are being brought either to Villanova's campus or we're going out there, down there, wherever it may be to visit them and play with like, yeah, literally closed doors, nobody in or
Yeah.
out, like limited access.
And it's
Um,
great. It's great because it feels like a game.
yeah,
And
exactly.
and you get tired of practicing against your teammates all the time. Like, Kyle, stop following me all week. You wanna play against somebody else.
Yeah, yeah,
So
100%.
those are really good.
So did you do that every single year, every single offseason
Yeah,
leading up to camp?
we did, but I can't. I remember George Washington specifically
Mhm.
as a team that we played a lot in the off season, not in the off season, the preseason, like closed doors. I can't remember the other teams,
Okay.
but it's definitely a thing.
So is that more just like kind of reserved for the better programs in college basketball, or is basically every program and their mother doing it?
I don't know, but I know the reason we did it was because it was just a way for us to work on our stuff against somebody else,
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know if there's any science behind it other than that,
Right.
other
Okay.
than let's scrimmage against these guys, let's work on our stuff we've been working on all week, and
Yeah.
let's run it against them.
Yeah. Let's see where we're at, kind of thing, right? It's
Yeah,
a litmus test to really let you know where you guys are at, because it's hard to really see that much of a development just when you're going against each other, right?
yeah.
So that's funny, man, because I remember just hearing that. I'm like, I mean, I believe this. I want to believe it. And it was basically every year. It was like, I remember, yeah, like you said, Duke, Virginia, Carolina, Louisville, like legitimate other programs. And I guess maybe Coach Wright had a relationship with their head coach, or something like that to kind of set things up, things of that nature. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. I don't know if COVID might have changed anything like that since the 2020 season. Maybe it was a little bit harder to do. So I don't know if they've had it the last few years. I
Yeah.
can't remember last offseason if there was any rumors or anything of one. Honestly, I don't. I can't think of it.
Don't they do that
Um,
in football? Don't they have like they'll have like a practice one day and it'll be two different teams practicing against each other and they always be
yes.
fighting all the damn time?
Yeah. Yes, that's correct. They
Yeah.
they they have like an inter squad practice,
Yeah.
and it results in fisticuffs just about every time. And it's honestly it's hilarious. It creates some great content.
It is. It is.
But especially if it's like rivals, division rivals, or teams that just have bad blood, like former teammates, that kind of thing.
Uh-huh. Like,
Um,
dude, it's a scrimmage.
yeah, yeah,
Why are you so upset?
exactly. So we're definitely going to keep our finger on the pulse there, keep our eyes and ears on the pulse in terms of what's going on. Hopefully they can scrimmage. The team can scrimmage someone that's got some legit pedigree heading into the season, and we can kind of get a feel for where we're at and see how the new guys look as well, right?
Yeah, for sure. Make
So
that
that'll be
call.
fun. Yeah, man.
Baker, get Kentucky on the line.
Yeah, why not? Get
Get
somebody.
Kansas on the line.
Kansas, get Dickinson over here. I want to see how he is.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's go, Bakes. Get those teams on the line so we can scrimmage them early.
Um, and before the show, you actually were talking a little bit about the possibility of Whitmore staying, and if Bamba and Hart, Burton, guys like that we actually got would have even been interested in coming to play for Villanova, because there was such a logjam of talent, and it'd be hard to get some minutes there. So you mentioned that you were looking at Memphis and NC State.
Yeah.
And you decided against it, which is one of the reasons why you actually chose Villanova.
Yeah, because I just seen a lot of opportunity there. I wanted to be on a team that I can like be responsible for leading and bringing them back to the good old days. And like I said earlier, when we was talking, I had Julius Hodge on my team. I played with him in high school. He was one of the top players in the country. He went to NC State. I was getting recruited by NC State too. And I just didn't want to go there, didn't want to play behind him. Same thing with Memphis. D. Wagner was there. Everybody know DeJuan was probably the best
Mm-hmm.
player in high school basketball. And I just didn't want to go play behind him and be in his shadows. I wanted to have my own thing. And I feel like let's say Cam would have stayed, that definitely could have altered the decisions with these other guys wanting to come in, because they see it. He was predicted to be a top 10 pick. So they see that and they know, it might not be a lot of playing time. So
Right.
they might have passed. But everything worked out the way it was supposed to work out.
Yeah, absolutely right. So wait, so that was Coach Cal at Memphis recruiting you, yeah?
Yeah, Coach Cal. Coach Cal's cool as hell. He got a nice staff over there. I know all them guys. Coach O, Bruiser over there. Yeah, those the old heads.
That's awesome, man. That's great. So Memphis and NC State, that's so cool. I feel like honestly, I feel like I never even would have asked you. So I'm glad you brought that up because
Yeah.
that's some great stories, man. Wow.
Yeah, like Wake Forest, they was recruiting me. They was waiting around, waiting to see what I was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
They wound up getting Chris Paul.
Yep.
Florida, I had Florida. They was waiting around, and they wound up taking Anthony Roberson. Who else did I have?
Well, so it was you, Randy, Curtis Sumter, and Jason Frazier,
Jason
right?
Frazier.
All four of you guys. I mean, that had been
Yeah.
one of the best classes in Villanova history, let alone in the country at that point,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's funny how I say that I didn't want to go to those other schools because I didn't want to play behind anybody,
Exactly.
and I wanted to like have all the shine.
Yeah, that's
Right?
what I was saying.
So as soon as I signed to Villanova, right, I announced my commitment. I was at ABCD camp, by the way. I had a game, and right after the game, I went upstairs and like cameras and all that was there, and I
Wow, that's
announced that
awesome.
I was going to Villanova. That was pretty cool. And then I remember immediately, like, I don't know, within like the next 2 days, Coach Wright just being the guy that he is, he's already on the phone with me. He's already like, yeah, we got to get Randy. We got to get Jason. We got to get Curtis.
So
And
you
then
were the first guy to commit. That's great.
yeah. And I'm like, all right, I'm good. They ain't really got no guards here. They got Snowden. Buchanan's a senior.
Right.
Like, yeah, I'm ready to play. And he's like, yeah, we got to get Randy. We got to get Curtis. We got to get Jason. And I'm like,
whoa.
I'm like, man, this is not part of the plan. This is not what I envision here. But
it's supposed to be my team.
Yeah, but then talking to Coach Wright, he kind of just like shifted my whole mindset, and I'm like, I'm on the phone with Jason. I'm on the phone with Curtis. We talking. I'm trying to get these guys to come here because I just understood the bigger picture and what we could have built there, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to build something, and selfishly, I had wanted to do it like by myself, but everything you see how it worked out here with Nova with all of us here. So I think it was good. We still friends to this day. Like, it's just more than teammates with us. We brothers. We built a special bond in recruiting that we still have to this day. So even before we got on campus, it was like we were like brothers already.
Oh man, that's great. That fires me up honestly to hear that stuff, Ray, because you guys certainly built a lot. You guys were the OGs for the Jay Wright era, the culture that you guys really set up for everybody else. And I just remember the 09 team. I remember Dante Cunningham was at the podium before they hopped on a plane to get ready for the first weekend of the NCAA tournament, and he was like, we play for all the Wildcats that came before us. This is about the name on the front of the jersey, not the back.
Yeah.
And it was him, Dwayne Anderson were saying things like that. I just remember that stuck with me as a kid, right? It was something that I was always like, man, that is what a true teammate, a true team, and a real brotherhood looks like. So it's really amazing to hear that it was obviously the same thing for you guys because you started. And it's always an honor to be sitting here with you, my friend, because if you told little OC what would he be doing when he was 25, man, he'd be one pumped up kid. So that's fires me up, Ray. So
Appreciate
great stuff
that.
there. Yeah, man. But another thing that fires me up has been Mark Armstrong. He's been doing a heck of a job for Team USA. USA, they defeated Madagascar. Believe it or not, Ray, you were shocked that they even had a team.
I know.
They won 136-69, and Armstrong was the second leading scorer. He had 19 points, 5 steals in 16 minutes. The USA, they set the record for most points scored by a Team USA U19 team. The next game was a little bit tougher, Ray. They only beat Slovenia by 5. Armstrong had a bit of a quiet afternoon with 5 points and an assist, but they got the win. And then yesterday, or should I say this morning, actually, they beat Lebanon 122-70, and Armstrong was actually the leading scorer with 17 points. So really some exciting stuff from Mark, and we play China now on Wednesday the 28th, which is tomorrow. I'm sure when you guys are hearing this, when it drops, it will not be. But really, it's been really fun to watch, and he's putting on a show, my friend. So what are your thoughts on Mark?
So I'm not surprised by Slovenia giving them the best run for their money.
Yeah, right.
Those Eastern European teams are really good.
Mhm.
Like I'm talking about fundamentally sound. I played in Slovenia. I was on there for like 2 weeks. These guys gave me they didn't even give me a contract. They like brought me over there because they kind of wanted to see like how I would do. And I played like 3 games and was averaging like 20 something.
Nice.
So I was like, damn, yeah, I messed up. Yeah, didn't give me no contract, so I'm leaving.
That's what I'm talking about.
But yeah, I played in Slovenia. They got some good players out there. But I mean, with Mark, man, like we all know how good Mark is. Like it's just like I said before, man. He just in a situation right now. I just feel for him because he can. I believe he can start. He can be a starter on another team for sure. Easy. It's just we just loaded right now. Like you seen that dunk he did?
Yeah, the reverse
Yeah.
reverse dunk after the Euro step. That was
So I'm
crazy.
saying like that's ridiculous. For a guard, for a point
Right.
guard, that's Russell Westbrook when he first came in the league. That's Derrick Rose. I don't know if he up there with Derrick Rose, but he's got that type of athleticism. Mark's athleticism is off the charts. And I love what he's doing. Um, even though we got a whole bunch of players, it seems like he's still in good spirits. It's not bothering him. He's playing good with Team USA. And he's in good company over there with Team USA. So let me tell you one thing. A lot of people, when you play with Team USA, about 80% of that roster, 90% of that roster is going to the NBA. Like it's just is what it is. So he's in good company over there with Team USA. So if he just keep working and stay level-headed and stay focused on his goals and being a Villanova basketball player and trying to get to that Final Four national championship, I could see Mark. I could see Mark possibly getting himself into the league, playing his way into the league, and having a stellar career at Villanova for sure.
Yeah, I think this is a start of his opportunity to really cement his legacy, right? He's saying, okay, the coaching staff, everybody just went out and got these 4 guys to come help us win. And that's great. That's good. That's good and fine. But I'm here too. And I'm going to make sure that everybody knows how important I'm going to be for this team's success as well, because I was here first. He proved last year, although he didn't have an outstanding freshman season, but he certainly lived up to some of the hype in terms of what we saw from him in flashes, right? So I think him taking the next step has already started. He's already begun lurching forward to really put everybody else on notice in terms of being like, okay, this kid is legit. He's not a bench warmer. He's not going to be just coming off the bench and filling empty minutes because he's a sophomore and he hasn't played enough and yada yada. No, this is a legitimate kid who was deserving of the 5-star recruiting grade that he was given when he was coming out of high school. It was like him and Cam coming together. We're like, okay, thank God they didn't leave after knowing Coach Wright was retiring. Retaining them was a huge win, and Mark now I think just is going to take another massive step in his development and has an opportunity to become the next great Villanova guard next season, Ray.
For sure. You consider him a Coach Wright recruit? or a Neptune product?
Well, I mean, he was recruited by Coach Wright for sure, but I guess we'll have to see if if he's able to really develop his game. Then you got to give credit where credit is due to Coach Neptune as well.
Yeah, but that's crazy how that works. Like, coach just retires and he brings in 2 recruits and just like retires. Like, all right,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
gone.
crazy.
You
Yep.
know, like here, and like you said, for them to even just like consider staying was I didn't know if they was gonna stay or not, honestly, because when you come to a school, it's mostly because of the coach, and he wound up staying. I'm glad they both stayed. Mark is still here. Like you said, he's got real potential to be one of the Villanova great guards. Like, he's probably the most athletic point guard, unless you want to say Randy, because Randy played point guard sometimes too. But I don't know. Mark might be one of the most athletic PGs
No
in,
doubt.
in Villanova history.
No doubt, man. It's exciting to watch, but you know, it was against Lebanon and it was against Madagascar. So those were his 2 best performances, and as he should have done, scored 17, 19 points, had a bunch of steals, and really was able to take charge of the offense. Ray.
Let me ask you: you remember any of the teams that they played last year?
Honestly, I think it was in the group stage. It was the same type of competition where I think they went 3-0, and then they got to the round of 16, and that's when the higher competition started. So I want to see
Yeah,
more. I want to see him score 19 points and be the leading scorer for Team USA against a team like China, against an Eastern European team that it
a
really is
France,
fundamentally sound. Yeah,
a
that's what I'm talking
France, a Italy. Yeah, those countries are good.
about.
France, Italy. We'll see when playoff time come. But
Yep,
he's doing what he's supposed to do right now. Like, I don't
exactly.
care. I don't care if you play in Madagascar. Don't ever play down to the level of your opponents. That's
Correct.
just what it is. It is what it is.
That's right, man. And
So
and
if you could Euro step dunk it, then Euro step dunk it.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, damn, man. That
Backwards.
was that was that was fun to watch, man. I think
Backwards though.
I had that on a loop today. I was just watching that all day at work, man. It's great.
Some people say it's a walk. I don't care if it was a walk or not. I didn't That wasn't the first thing that jumped out my mind.
No, no, of
I
course not.
was
We know that's a sensitive subject with you too, Ray.
Yeah, I'm always looking for travels all the time.
Oh man. All right. So a couple of things to really just to wrap up for us because we've had some great conversations here, Alan. But uh Caleb Williams, right? The kid from Sidwell Friends School in DC. He recently committed to Georgetown to join Ed Cooley. We lost out on him. We really thought that there was a possibility of us getting him. We were in his final 7, and what do you know? He goes to our rival Georgetown. We talked a little bit about how Ed Cooley was kind of destined for success at Georgetown recruiting wise. He did a pretty good job up in Providence, and now he's in DC with full access to the DMV, and he's doing his thing now after landing Thomas Sorber, now getting Caleb Williams. So tough loss for Nova,
Mhm.
but it's a sign of things to come for Georgetown. I remember we talked about this a few episodes ago, Ray, about looking at what the Big East snapshot is going to look like in terms of final standings. I had Georgetown toward the bottom, and you asked me, hey, what is that? Is that because they haven't earned it yet? I'm like, yeah, that's right, they haven't earned it yet, but I do realize they have a bright future with Ed Cooley, and I think this is a prime example of that bright future.
Yeah, Ed Cooley's gonna do his thing in the DMV,
Mm.
and yeah, they was coming. Providence fans was coming for me on Twitter when this whole situation was going down because I was saying that people was like, I don't understand why he's going to Georgetown. Like, why is he going to Georgetown? He's leaving
Mhm.
Providence to go to Georgetown. Okay, you looking at the records, you looking at the wins and losses, but you look at what he's doing now is the real reason why Georgetown wanted him so bad and he wanted to go there so bad. Like he's got the DMV. If he can turn Georgetown around, they can start winning. Like he's gonna have the DMV area on lock. Kids are gonna want to go there and play. Kids want to go there and play now. You see how many people he got in the portal, how many transfers, recruits coming over there. Like Georgetown's it's not a blue blood, but
Upper echelon.
It's an upper echelon program. Everybody knows that name. The campus is beautiful. I don't know if you've ever been on the campus before. So it's going to attract a lot of players. And that's why Ed Cooley went there. I don't care about what y'all Providence fans were saying about his personal life and whatever was going on. It had nothing to do with what he's doing right now and why Georgetown wanted him and why he went to Georgetown.
Yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head, Ray. Georgetown is most definitely a step up from Providence in terms of just brand of basketball. Patrick Ewing being there for that 84 team, even in 85, and they were supposed to demolish Villanova. And Villanova pulled one of the greatest upsets in not just college basketball history, but sports history. That's what it took to beat Georgetown, and Patrick Ewing was a perfect game. So that brand of basketball has been built. It was an original Big East team. Even with John Thompson III, they had some great teams.
I wish I could have saw those games.
Yeah, no, man. I mean, you were obviously busy playing overseas, but just you think about guys like Devontae Smith-Rivera, Markel Starks, Roy Hibbert. They had some serious talent there back in, I guess you would say, early 2010s, late 2000s.
I think we might have played against Roy Herbert his freshman year, my senior year.
I think that might be accurate because I think he did graduate.
Jeff Green was on that team too.
Yeah, right. He was another Georgetown guy.
Yeah.
I mean, they had
old
some
as hell.
serious.
Roy Hibbert had 2 left feet.
Yeah, a little bit.
And then all of a sudden, it just like changed up.
Clicked.
And he became like unstoppable. Literally 2 left feet, like 2 left kneecaps. I don't know how he was switching on defense, none of that. And then all of a sudden, he a monster.
Yeah,
out of nowhere.
My goodness, man. Yeah, and he had a great career in the NBA as well. But just the amazing thing for me is just the fall from grace that Georgetown really did have.
Yeah,
and bringing Ewing in as the head coach, I thought was going to really change things up. They had a couple of nice moments there when they won the Big East tournament in 21 and got to the big dance. That was pretty cool, but that's not the standard of what Georgetown was really used to. They were used to making Final Four runs, being at the top of the Big East in the regular season, and also being a force in the Big East tournament as well. So I think Ed Cooley is certainly bringing them back, or on the way, I should say, to bringing them back to the promised land and what they are really used to down in D.C.
Yeah, Pat Ewing was too cool. He was just too laid back, you know.
Yeah,
he wasn't what Georgetown needed. They tried, but it didn't work out.
Like Chris Mullen at St. John's too, man. I think it's very similar situations, bringing back like former heroes of the program to attract recruits. I think was a good idea on paper, and I think it worked a little bit at the beginning, and the results obviously lacked, a couple years afterward. But hey, I think both those teams now are in great hands with Cooley and Pitino, man. So that's going to be fun to watch them grow and just make the Big East better than it even is right now.
Yeah. Pitino been on his grind too, as expected. Let's see if any violations come up in the next month or two before the season. But yeah, he's definitely been active as well, and Cooley's been active as well. I think it's good. It's all good for the Big East. I want to see the Big East get like their recognition. I want to see the Big East get the love that they deserve.
Thing is, though,
even though the draft ain't help us, but the draft ain't help us this year, but we still a good conference.
We're a great conference, man. And I listen. I think the fact that the Big East plays on Fox Sports 1, Fox Sports 2, and not ESPN, like the ACC and the SEC and the Big Ten and the Big 12, that is what kills us, Ray. That is
Yeah.
what drives us away from the national spotlight, and only Fox wants to talk about the Big East. I think that's a major contributing factor to us being underrated and not getting the recognition that we deserve, and also football too, which is another main reason.
I ain't gonna lie. Before I got YouTube TV, all the games being on Fox Sports and CBS and all that stuff, it was a hassle sometimes.
I hear you, man.
So I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I think that's accurate.
We was on ESPN all the time. We played.
Oh, you got
yeah.
When you see what we posted the other day on the Raynin Threes account, Ray? It was that game against Louisville, first Big East matchup you guys had, and ESPN was hyping you guys up, and it was awesome. It was awesome.
I used to love those days. After the game, go back in the dorm late at night, watch ESPN, because that was still something kind of new and fresh. So
yeah,
I used to watch ESPN all the time, just to like look at because they used to play all the games. If you was in the top 25, they were showing your highlights that night.
Oh yeah,
So
you guys spent a lot of time in the top 25.
Yeah, we did. But I don't know. Fox Sports, maybe that's the reason. Who knows? What Big Ten play on? Big Ten Network. I know they got a Big Ten Network.
Yeah, they have a Big Ten Network, but they're on ESPN a lot. They on like the Super Tuesday, the Big Monday. They're always on. Like it'll be Purdue, Michigan State. Those games, like the high, like ranked teams playing ranked teams.
Yeah,
those games are on ESPN, ESPN2, whatever it may be. But they're nationally televised versus, not everybody is watching FS1. I feel like it just doesn't have the same recognition, not nearly the same recognition as an ESPN family of network.
Yeah. What about preseason tournaments?
We'll be on ESPN.
They'll be on
for
ESPN.
Battle for Atlantis. Yeah, Battle for Atlantis will be on ESPN. And then the Gavitt games. So when we play Maryland on that Friday night, November, I think that'll be on ESPN as well. And we'll get a couple CBS games, which are always fun because that then we might get Raftery, your boy Raf, on the call as well. But him and Gus, they don't. We last year we didn't get enough of Gus and
we didn't.
Raf. We didn't. So hopefully that changes this year with us probably being a legitimate top 20 team. So we'll see.
We got a lot of Jim Johnson.
Yeah, Jim Jackson. Yeah.
Jim Jackson, my bad.
Yes. No, you're good. He's actually very solid. I appreciate
I like him too.
His game as well. I think he's a lot of fun to listen to. But another thing that I've actually had some fun listening to are these rumors about Donte DiVincenzo joining Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart in New York, Ray. I mean, could you imagine that trio of former Wildcats tearing up the Garden on a nightly basis? Oh man, that gets me juiced up hearing that kind of thing, man.
I can't imagine that because Leon Rose is the president. He worked for CAA agency. If I'm not mistaken, Jalen's with CAA, and Donte is either Donte or Josh is with CAA
as well. So
so there's tie. Obi Toppin is with CAA, so there's already ties in New York with CAA. So I like that already, and bringing DiVincenzo in is a good thing because you think about it. I think he's more of a playmaker than Josh Hart is. Josh Hart is more of a wing guy that's going to like do dirty work for you. Donte makes a little bit more plays. So I think that could work out for them. Jalen Brunson, Donte DiVincenzo, and Emmanuel Quickley. And I think Quickley's more of a scorer, and I think he likes to score. And having DiVincenzo and Brunson can give Quickley that ability to like score more and kind of be himself. And you need 3 guards during the season because if somebody get hurt, you need somebody else. So I think that's a good fit. And the Knicks need shooting. DiVincenzo right now is shooting like 39 from 3 or something like that, which is
Yeah.
unbelievable. He's definitely stepped up his 3-point shooting from the previous years. Trying to look at his stats right now.
Yeah, no, it's legit. This is a legit
Yeah,
possibility, man, because Jake
39,
Fisher, yeah,
39,
39%, dude.
39 from 3, 43 from the field, 9 points a game, 3.5 assists. Yeah,
And you know
they
all those
they need
numbers
that shooting.
would jack up in in New York too. Like he would,
Yeah,
I just it's something about the contagious energy of these guys.
yeah.
And we saw Josh dropping 20 points, 30 points a few times here and there once he was acquired. So I just think it would
And
be
Josh don't need the ball to get 30 points.
no, right.
Like he don't need no plays run for him.
And I feel like Dante is the same way. Like he's just he's the exact version of a role player, I guess if you want to call him that,
Yeah,
to add to this team and just have them step up on any given night. Really, I
yeah.
truly believe that. And I mean, literally, this is a legit possibility. Jake Fisher, senior NBA writer and analyst, said there's been growing noise among league personnel about DiVincenzo joining former Villanova teammates Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart in New York. So this is a legitimate possibility here. We're not just blowing smoke. We're not just saying, oh, how cool would this be? It is a legit circulation of amongst NBA personnel. So I'm
For
just I'm
sure.
just hoping to wake up one morning and see that on Twitter, right?
Yeah, I definitely, everybody would be stoked for that one.
Oh my goodness.
And then you know who's next to go to New York? The Godfather.
No, are you serious? You think
Jay
so?
Wright. Jay
Jay
Wright.
Wright. Jay Wright
Nah,
to the Knicks confirmed.
nah,
There's always going to be rumors about him going to the Knicks or Sixers, but
nah. But DiVincenzo, Brunson, Hart, Bridges, all in New York. That's love.
oh man,
That's
it's a
what
beautiful thing.
that's love. That they get to be that close to each other and all went to college with each other. Like I was with Boston, Randy was with Minnesota, Kyle's with Memphis. Like
Yeah.
these dudes just go to the corner store, they can run into each other. That's love, especially in New York. In New York City, they live in their life.
Oh yeah, man.
They
Big
gotta be.
Apple, baby.
Yeah,
City that never sleeps.
yeah. But I like that. That would be great. That would be great for Villanova. That would be great for the Knicks as well because they need shooting. I wonder
Oh
what they're
man.
gonna do with Randall.
Lots to monitor, and it's really exciting as Villanova fans because let me tell you, I do really enjoy the NBA, but having all these former Wildcats tearing it up really
Yeah,
it adds an extra element of interest for me, especially. So it's really been a ton of fun to continue to watch these guys grow and just to have really put on some incredible shows. We talk about Sadiq's 50 burger,
hmm,
and we'll see who else can really get us pumped up as Nova fans, and hopefully Cam Whitmore can do the same. But hey Ray, last episode we did that draft for our top 3 all Villanova teams.
yeah. You couldn't wait. I knew we wasn't gonna end without you saying nothing. But go
This is
ahead.
I had to
Go
end on
ahead.
this, right? Which was my team, my first team: Jalen Brunson, Randy Foy, Josh Hart, Eric Pascal, and Ed Pinckney. A Rays first team: Kyle Lowry, Chris Ford, Kerry Kittles, Mikal Bridges, and Tim Thomas. The voters, the people, the followers, our listeners have spoken. Out of 100 votes, 64 believe OC has the better team, and 36 believe A-Ray has a better team. So I took round 1, at least thus far. I mean, you could stage a miraculous comeback, but
Mhm.
as of right now, I am in firm control of winning this first team battle, A-Ray.
Where's my make Villanova great again hat? I need a recount.
Stop the count.
I
Stop the
need a
count.
recount.
Yeah, so I mean, officially the voting doesn't end till for another like 5-6 days, but It would take a serious comeback, A-Ray. So,
Listen, I'm like these politicians. All right, you gonna do a recount. We gonna be doing some filibustering, all kind of stuff. All kind of stuff.
That's great.
It's going down.
I have to do a whole redraft because we definitely got some hate over our first teams. But
Pick new teams, everything.
Yeah. No, it's funny. But hey, we got put on the spot. We had no preparation. We were doing it live. So that was a ton of fun. And honestly, it turned out okay, right, A-Ray?
Yeah, it was good. I want to see what some of the fans who they would pick out that list, because you only can use one person one time. So it makes it a little tougher.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it, though. I mean, we can't have like the identical starting fives because that would be no fun.
Yeah.
So, all right, man. Well, hey, that was a ton of fun getting into the Cam Whitmore situation, Mark Armstrong, Donte DiVincenzo. We talked some hypotheticals. So just a real fun way to spend our night, Ray. It was a good time chopping it up. And Raynin Threes, man. This is going to be. This already is so much fun. We're only on episode 6, and we have a long way to go before the season already starts. Man.
We up while John Rothstein is sleeping. We up. We working. Yes. He sleeps. Yeah. We don't sleep.
We don't sleep. Yeah, I can't even think of a month where we'd sleep in. So we sleep maybe in May, but not until next year. So
let's hope for some news. Season. Let's hope for some news next week.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get Donte to the Knicks. Something.
Yeah.
Something, or maybe we can get a recruit. That'd be nice. We still got to dive into the different recruits, Ray. But obviously a lot to cover with Cam and Mark. So that was great to go over and give everybody our takes.
Oh, there was some energy behind that, OC. You was like, maybe we get a recruit.
Nah, come on. No disrespect.
There's some energy behind that.
Maybe we could. I don't know. You never know. We'll see.
We're not satisfied. Villanova fans, we never satisfied.
Correct.
We never satisfied.
Humble and hungry, Ray. All right, man. With Alan Ray, I'm your host, Mike O'Connell. This has been the 6th edition of Raynin Threes, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Holla at your boy. Enjoy your nights. Make sure y'all tune in. Raynin Threes.